And gang, we're back after that short, unprecedented break. Because I accidentally hit the power button and
Yeah.
nearly killed our stream.
Yeah.
But
It
we're
wasn't
back.
like a Sopranos ending,
It
guys.
wasn't. It was me hitting the wrong button. But we
I'm
recovered.
dying to hear what point was interrupted.
The point where Bryn was like, the thing about it is, and then he just cut it off. So there you go. So we don't know what we're talking about. But
I can't wait for the clickbait articles to come out about,
But we
the
were
for and against that ending.
Yeah,
But
it's
we were. But
it's basically the end of the Simpsons episode with God going. The meaning of life is
exactly. But the thing of it is, we were going to swap topics after the break anyway. So in the half an hour we have left, let's talk about and this is going to be a monumental task, which is we're not going to get done because this is like nearly the best season of the Simpsons, if not the best.
Shots fired.
If not the best. I think season 7 is the best one though, to be fair, but we'll get to that. So we're going to start with season 6 of The Simpsons. Now, I think this is going to be a 3-parter, but hopefully it won't be. But
I have a feeling you're right.
Yeah, I think that might happen, or even if we break it up into half-an-hour segments where we do it every week or whatever, which is what we might do.
I'm just looking forward to like the 10-hour supercut of this that you do like in 3 months' time.
Oh man, I'm just looking forward to season 12. We're gonna talk about season 12 in a positive light. Everybody hates that. I don't understand why. I'm like,
because it's the first bad season.
It's not bad. It's great.
It's great in context.
Okay, fair. I'll give you that. But it does have some of my favorite moments, so I'm like, I can't be mad at it, you know.
Yeah, but it's great in context. You know what comes after it. People when there was only 12 seasons, it was definitely the worst.
That's okay. That's a fair point. Well, season one is weak.
Yeah, but season
1 has heart.
Yeah, but season 12 has a football in the ground.
No, it doesn't, though.
I know. I know. You just set it up. I had to take that shot.
I was half expecting you to go, oh, I see you played season 5, season 12 before.
Okay, well, let's get into it, guys. Let's start off with Bart of Darkness, which is so good, and it has actually a friend of the show, Gary, always would quote St. Stephen's Day one. And I didn't know St. Stephen's Day was a real thing until I was like, oh my god, this is a real thing. And so that's something I learned from this.
Yeah.
Also,
has it restored your faith in The Simpsons after the Guys and Dolls thing?
No, it has not. That still that. Also, it has another good Gary quote where it's like, oh, it's a fine bar in English, but it is no pool. And it's like, that's another...
the bit after, do it! It's so good.
Shout out to Gary, because they're two of his biggies that he uses all the time.
I remember years ago in college, I helped build a set for 12 Angry Men, and we were putting up all the flats for the walls and everything. And one guy just goes, "'Tis a fine barn, but sure 'tis no pool." English.
Did you go do it?
I did, yeah.
Good.
Had to.
And I can't remember who pointed it out, but I love the whole bit where they go, "Can we have a pool, Dad? Can we have a pool, Dad? Can we have a pool, Dad?" And she like interrupts it. Like, wait.
Yeah. Yeah. So
like, there's just so many little. It doesn't get to the sort of Rear Window stuff until over the 2/3 mark. It's very much its own thing. Like,
I love that when the rear window stuff comes into it, though. It's so great.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't get that either until I was, 16, 17, when in school they made us watch a bunch of Hitchcock.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, cool, okay.
Yeah, I didn't understand that that's supposed to be Jimmy Stewart either.
They got there. Was the one where the school goes on strike in this season too? Because if so, they're getting their money's worth out of whoever's doing their Jimmy Stewart voice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, same season, I think.
I think it is.
It's in Bill's house and Fred's house.
Jimmy, I don't know. Like, it's the references are so obscure that it just kind of build in this whole plethora of 20th century pop culture to a point where they're just pulling from it, and this is when they're really kind of, those gears are really going for it. You see a lot of it in Itchy and Scratchy Land as well, where they're pretty much doing a whole full takedown of Walt Disney.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. Even in that one episode, the Itchy and Scratchy thing is a reference to the first Star Trek episode with the Telosians with their brains that can just magic anything.
Yes, exactly. Bar Darkness, though, great way to start the season. Really good start. Probably one of the best one.
Probably the best season opening.
That isn't a Halloween episode.
Yeah.
I put that in as an addendum because they used the Halloween episode as the best one. Lisa's rival, very good.
Yeah.
We as we discovered recently. Yeah, that's a good one because like a lot of the vehicles for Lisa can be a bit on the preachy side, but this one's a nice fun one. It's nice seeing her on the back foot for once. Like,
I think it's good. I know it's very hard to root for her because Allison is so cool.
Yeah, I think it's more just like Lisa having to deal with her own insecurities and having to go like, but why don't I like? She's going like, why don't I like this person?
Yeah,
and that like, it's just an interesting. It's just an interesting like it's one of the few times we get to see her actually like have conflict because she's usually a lot more assured. You
know what I do like though? I love Ralph in this for his little quote. He's like, "You're deceptive," and it's just like, where did you learn the word deceptive?
But like,
I beat the smart kids.
I beat the smart kids. But you brought up a fair point there, which is that it would have been so easy to make the Allison character unlikable. They kind of did that in a much later series with the redheaded bully.
Yeah,
that she kind of does the pheromone thing with. So yeah, it's much more interesting to have the rival, as you say, be a really cool character and like kind of essentially making it even harder for Lisa to hate her. Like,
yeah, because like she's basically better than Lisa at everything.
At everything Lisa considers valuable, certainly. Yeah.
Except for dioramas, obviously.
Yeah.
Because
obviously
Ralph brings original Star Wars figures, so
like nothing beats that though.
They're all there.
Yeah, even Chewie.
So good. It's followed up by.
Hang on. You can't talk about this episode and not talk about Milhouse being on the FBI's most wanted list.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like it's probably the top meme consistently all year round.
I don't care.
Which is a Fugitive reference for anyone who hasn't seen Fugitive.
Oh, I always assumed it was its own thing, but that kind of illustrates your point from earlier, Dara.
No, it's the Harrison Ford Fugitive reference.
Yeah,
where he gets arrested for killing his wife and goes on the run.
Yeah, and it's like Tommy Lee Jones chasing down Harrison Ford, and he's like, "I didn't kill my wife."
I don't care. Yeah, it's so good. It's good. It's actually, Keen, it's a great movie.
Yeah,
honestly, it's a really good flick. Yeah. The next one is followed by it's very poor. It's another clip. It's called Another Simpsons Clip Show, and it's really
this is I feel like I went out on a limb to defend the clip show back in series 4 or whatever. This one, isn't really. It doesn't kind of earn its stripes in the same way that the earlier one did, or the 138th Spectacular, or even the singing one. Well, there's a distinct lack of effort. Like
they're all doing something. This is just doing nothing.
Yeah, and something I never noticed till I rewatched this. Even the slot of the scenes at the kitchen table, the animation quality jumps up and down. So they're clearly just reusing footage from older things. Like
there was nothing here but filler.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was poor because it's as I said, this is one of the best seasons, if not the next one. And it's hampered, it's crippled by this.
Yeah. It's the first episode as well on IMDb to score below a 6.
Really?
The first episode.
Okay.
So just give you an idea of what we're talking about this in terms of the rating for the show. It's the first time that it drops below 6. Now that's gonna be a quality marker we're gonna get very used to if we go past season 12. So like,
everyone is wrong about season 12.
Before we go back down that rabbit hole, I remember back when there was only 9 or 10 series of The Simpsons out, Jesus, and like you just had the good ones on Sky One. If you got like say the Mindy episode and then this, it was a killer, or any of them, like the Grandpa one or whatever, because you were just watching the same one again,
You weren't into it, it was kind of just like, as I said, there was nothing fun or unique about this. It was just kind of like, it's really lazy and it's really poor. And also, it
Yeah.
has like the Mindy one is great, but it's great as an episode. The Grandpa one is not well. The girls disagree, but not good. So it's like, oh, they think it's good, and that's fine. But for me, I'm like, nah, man.
Yeah,
not good.
but like on the sliding scale of clip shows, there are ones that will be worse.
This one's
but the worst ones are at least slightly more inventive.
Yeah.
Like, and I say slightly. That I think the time I really lost faith in The Simpsons for the first time was like that one that starts with Forrest Gump, and then it's like a roast of Homer Simpson.
Oh yeah.
Like that.
Oh,
that was
one.
the first painful Simpsons episode I remember.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that one. But
it's still more inventive because these are original jokes. They're not good jokes, but they're original.
There.
Yeah.
Well, look, but the next couple of episodes really make up for it, right?
Okay.
Itchy and Scratchy Land, and this is a sore subject because I should be in Disney World right now. Thank you, virus, for ruining the year and my trip that I spent.
So, do you think that Disneyland is currently like Euro Itchy and Scratchy Land?
No, it's not. It's grand, like, but we can't go there because we're still on a ban list. Yeah. So I was just like, all right, cool. This kind of sucks. But yeah, so I was watching this and I'm like,
There's no going to Mickey Mouse to someone in a Mickey Mouse costume and saying, "Hey, Mouse, said cheese for you."
No.
I finally, now that I was watching it on Disney Plus, I finally got the political prisoner joke. I kicked the giant mouse in the butt. Do you want me to draw you a diagram?
It's so good. No, obviously this is the home for the Bort references.
Yeah. We need more Bort license plates in the gift shop.
Come on, Bort. Come along, Bort. Excuse you, you're talking to me. No, my son is also called Bort. I love the little... I have to say, what I love about this is someone who's gone to Disney most of their life and has a big... Like, that's how we were raised, basically. But from going to it, it was like, in... Main Street USA, they have a lot of these little tents for Walt Disney where you can go in and see the history of the movies, and the little takedown of how they spin history and stuff like that, where it's just like, everybody loved them except for that period in the 30s where he
makes the movie Nazi Superman are our superiors. Yeah, I feel like this is a ball that Futurama ran more with in its second episode on the moon.
Probably the same writers. Probably the same writers.
But that's exactly it. That this was kind of the warm up to that. That was a much more savage take of that particular quality of Disney rewriting history. I know off the air we're talking about Lindsay Ellis. She does a video on how particularly Disney does that. So yeah, there's definitely, I'm impressed that Disney Plus actually put this episode up there because it's very pointed.
It is very pointed, and it's in context it's even more pointed, but as an episode by itself it's just kind of hilarious. And this is one that I'd hand to anybody and go, look, you have to watch this. It also has one of my favorite gags where it's like, Bart's dead. That's right, dead tired. This is so good. It's still so good. It's brilliant.
It's so great.
If you haven't seen it, check it out. You'll have a great time, honestly.
Now remember, guys, we're in the itchy lot.
That's another thing. Yeah. That's another thing that's so true. If you've been to Disneyland, where the parking lots are massive, and it's just huge. It's this reminds me a lot of National Lampoon's Vacation.
Even the way the Homer is dressed kind of harkens to that a bit.
Yeah, I think they were really channeling that in this episode.
I notice it a lot when there's that frame of Homer saying, "Nobody ruins my family vacation but me and maybe the boy." Like that's definitely like framing from the first National Lampoon where he's like the park's closed, he's like standing in front of them, angry, like Yeah,
I love like that they basically took The Prisoner and inspired it for everything they did on the back end. So like all the uniforms are all taken from that 60s show.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'd forgotten about that. The cars, yeah.
I forgot to carry the one.
Yeah.
We've also arrested your older, bolder, fatter son.
Okay.
I'd be so embarrassed to be that mother.
Yeah. I'm gutted that Lisa isn't here because they go to like TGI Scratchies and it's like Happy New Year every 5 minutes. I really relate to that poor guy.
Yeah.
He's like, please kill me.
It must be so fun to ring in the new year again and again and again.
Please kill me.
Okay.
So good.
The next one has one of my favorite like running gags in it. So Sideshow Bob Roberts, right, where it's the beginning. I love Birch T. Barlow. Like he's like my favorite character in early Simpsons. He's so funny. And I just love that like the Homer's little speech about not voting and everything. It's such a savage take of like the mindset of America in the 90s.
Yeah.
And still even to today as well, it kind of can be carried over. Like it's
this
great.
one. I mean, I kind of said this about the Mr. Burns one back in series 2, but this one has held up eerily well. Like like not to get too political, but like a sort of Fox type news pundit like ends up promoting like this criminal into a political office. It's hard not.
Well, look, what I will say on that is what's interesting about it is it cuts both ways, right? So what I like about it is, it's we know Sideshow Bob's a Republican because he said that.
I find my hook to you all.
No, he said it literally in the when he was running for what prison is like for a lifelong Republican.
Yeah. You caught that early on, didn't you?
So he set it up, and it was like great. But what's cool about it is they're showing the influence that this can happen, but then at the same time they're going through the litany of stuff that Joe Quimby has been convicted or that he's done.
Yeah,
and it's just like, wow, this is great because it works on.
It's not the mayor's fault that the stadium collapsed.
for mayor, he'd vote for you.
My favorite thing is Sideshow Bob's attack ad, where he's like, it's like Mayor Joe Quimby set up a revolving door prison system. He even let out Sideshow Bob, a man convicted twice for attempted murder. Vote Sideshow Bob for mayor. I love it so much.
It's so true though. Have we? Because I've missed the past 2 or 3 episodes. Have we passed the Stampy episode where he goes through both the Republican and Democratic?
Yes. Yeah, we have.
Like that's so perfect. Like that we're evil followed by we can't govern.
Yeah, it's like what was it? It's we're evil. I can't remember what the second.
We're evil and we know it. Something like that.
Something like that. It's like we can't govern. We hate ourselves.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
I think that could be just Ireland now. Where it's just like literally that's what it is. Yeah. So what's great about this is what I like about Simpsons at this point, when they go on the attack, they attack both sides pretty much evenly.
Yeah, they don't. It's a quality that we always give to South Park, but because the Simpsons has had its kind of edges sheened off it over the years, we don't really associate with them anymore.
But what's cool is like that's sorry, Brent, for coming across you, but that's when satire works, when it's like we're actually putting a lens on the way things are rather than creating a new lens for you to look through.
Yeah. I think one of the things that didn't help The Simpsons so much is that I don't think its politics necessarily changed. I just think that the dial of American politics shifted so that they were more further over than where they were when they started.
Yeah,
because it doesn't really seem like they've really changed any of their stances. It's just that the attitude of America has changed.
That's fair. Yeah.
But yeah, like the Such a Bob Roberts is a brilliant episode. I love that it brings up the idea of voter fraud. And because that's been used as an excuse for why people get into office forever as a conspiracy theory in America. I love as well that they got pets to do it. It just it's just beautiful.
They got, what was that? Sorry.
They also had They also had pets part of the voter fraud.
Oh yeah, Snowball 2, please not you. And I love Smithers being the snitch and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's all just so. And actually, it's a great vehicle for like kind of Sideshow Bob as a character listening to the old people crone on and on and all that kind of stuff. Because like, I mean, obviously he's like a Krusty the Clown performer, but he is charismatic, and that's a quality that like a lot of the episodes don't write towards. Like,
absolutely. Like, I mean, this is a guy who's definitely like set up so that he can be a master manipulator. But his biggest weakness is that he's also so easily manipulated.
Oh yeah,
that's how his downfall comes through.
I could totally see that working in the real world. That he's so insecure that he wants people to know his evil plan.
Because they go like, I was like, oh well, you're obviously like too. You're too you're not you're too much of a you're not smart enough to have planned something like this out. You're just a pawn.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ringo to his rest of the Beatles. Yeah. I've got to say, actually, that's one of my favorite lines. What's one of my favorite lines in The Simpsons? Like when it's like, place the nail under rest. What? Oh yes. Oh, that's stuff I did.
I love where he's like, look, here's all the documents, and he just has them on his person.
In his hair.
He wasn't planning to actually reveal them. He just carries them around because he loves them so much. And he's like,
it is probably the safest place.
Well, Brent, to be fair, if you are a master criminal, you're going to be very proud of it.
Yeah, but he's also like, each one, well, he says as much. He says that each one is a work of Machiavellian art.
Yeah.
Like, see, to be fair, I don't know. I'd vote for Sideshow Bob.
Well,
don't blame me. I voted for Kodos.
You know, I think Homer's right though. I'm not really a fan of his Bart killing policy, but I am in favor of his Selma killing policy.
Well, I can totally see like what Krusty says as well. He's like, "You frame me for armed robbery, but I really want that tax cut." That's still so American Republican. Like,
to be fair, tax cut would be nice. Just saying. But here's
upper class tax cut.
Oh yeah, well.
That's what he says.
Oh, fair. Well, maybe not that. But what I was talking about, what is funny is, right, a little bit later on in the run of the series, right, you get to see what effect he has as a mayor when he lives in Italy. And it's like, oh, this is a cool little callback. So that's why I think, everyone who hates Ladder Simpsons, don't. Give it a chance. There is some good stuff there. It's just very hard to find.
Yeah, it's a shame you have to go looking for it.
Yeah. But definitely one of my favorite episodes, I must say. This is great. Treehouse of Horror 5. Yeah, guys, we're not getting through this in one sitting. We're here. No.
Well, we do this as the last one then.
I'd say we should do this as the last one.
This is the last one I want to get through. I do want to touch on the background for Bryn's background.
Yeah.
So we'll do that one as the last one. Because that is super good. We'll kind of skip a little bit, and then we'll make you pick another.
But it's such a mole man thing to do, to have him sit there suffering for an hour while we yammer on about Star Wars and then not get to it.
Exactly. It's so good. We have to talk about it.
It's just another part in the pain that he experiences every day.
Every day.
And he's only 31 years old as well.
Yeah, fair play to Lisa for opening her show with that quote. I don't know if it's the most recent episode, but she definitely did it.
Mole man in the morning.
Good mole man to you.
All right, so next one is Treehouse of Horror 5. Now, listen, this one is a weird one because it has like the best parody in The Simpsons. The best.
Is this The Shining?
This is The Shining, yeah.
It's The Shining.
The Shining, the Toaster,
you don't want to get sued. It's The Shining.
Depends.
Like, it's so good. But it has,
no, you go first, right?
I was saying, it has like the best parody, but the weakest ending, I think.
Because a few episodes ago I said there was a Treehouse of Horror story that legitimately frightened me, and that is the school eating one.
Oh,
there's something deeply that there isn't a lot of jokes, and it gets played very straight. Like they like with the blender and everything. Like I don't know, it creeped me out in a good way. Like it's like. So yeah, I don't know. I love this one to bits, if only for the running gag of Willie getting killed in every single one of them.
This indeed is a disturbing universe.
Yeah, and a James Earl Jones cameo, which is always welcome.
So good. But yeah, no beer, no TV, make Homer something. The fact that they actually do like a full-on, almost shot-for-shot remake of The Shining.
Yeah.
And then they subvert the ending by having all the family sit in and get frozen.
Well, the Tony Awards are on.
So good.
Yeah.
Urge to Kill, Rising.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Homer gets distracted and like a whole bunch of monsters have to drag him back to it.
Can't talk.
I also love that like it took them 3 attempts to get to that house.
Yeah, but that's a good point. Like the style is so good. Like it's got those stings down and all that kind of stuff. Like day 1, day 2, like that kind of thing.
These people love Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah,
that's true. Actually, because I introduced Stevie to Space Odyssey for the first time a day or two ago.
Oh my god, how long?
And like you can't.
How many tries did you take to watch it?
No, we had to take a break in the middle to put Prim to bed. But apart from that, we got through the whole thing. But you can't watch it without bloody running into Simpsons references.
No,
you could
you
almost
can't.
make up the whole film from just the bits the Simpsons have completely parodied. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
It's
and
great.
It's really good. Actually, one of the later episodes, Simpsons do a full take of Clockwork Orange,
Yeah.
and it's excellent.
yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
So
Mm.
it's actually really decent, to be fair.
I love the time travel part of the Treehouse of Horror. The whole descent into him just losing his mind and going.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm not supposed to hit anything. I'm going to smash up everything.
that's just bug.
Yeah, because me and Stevie finished watching a show called The Time Tunnel, which is legit that played straight from the 60s. It's just that these two American guys try and get home and keep landing in the wrong place. Yeah. And they do go crazy after a while of the exhaustion of just keeping landing in trouble. Like, you would, after a while, just snap after escaping a world run by Flanders. Like,
it's very good. It's very, very good. It like, I would say, again, the Treehouse of Horror episodes are kind of cheating, but they're also not. But definitely, this is one of the top ones, guys. We've done it. We've reached time, and we only got to episode 6. So,
in fairness, we got talking about Star Wars.
We did, and other stuff.
I'm amazed we got through one episode.
The world is opening up again, so we have stuff to talk about, which means Star Wars fans are coming back.
I love the fact that I love the fact that Mole Man's episode is after the watershed, as it were, and won't make it onto the radio.
No.
Yeah.
No.
There's something so meta about that.
Yeah. Good Mole Man to you.
We'll save it. We'll wait until we have the rest of the team with us.
Yeah.
Don't know who's going to be on the show next week, but if it is a case of where we're going to do this as segments, we might do that as segments. If not, we'll do a full show next week. Guys, let us know what you think in the comments below. Subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. If you're listening on Phoenix 92.5 FM, thank you very much. Go over to NerdToKnowMedia.com. Check out all the shows. They're all really, really good. Support us via YouTube, Brave Browser, all that good stuff. Hey, look, subscribing is free, and that's the best way to help us right now.
And it means the world to us.
It does, and it means that, you get the content first and when we go live and all that good stuff as well.
Yeah.
But if not, try the Brave Browser, because that's also good. And of course, we have our Ko-fi and PayPal links up as well. Guys, is there anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Yeah, the episode 1 Pod Racer game is now available on the Nintendo Switch network, and get it.
Nice.
It's amazing. Even Stevie's playing it and she hates video games.
Fair enough. The sequel's actually on the PS4 as well, if you want to play that.
It is.
There's a sequel?
Yeah,
there's a sequel. And it's on the PS4.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's very good. And grown-up Anakin's in it as well, so you can play as grown-up Annie.
Yeah. Why would you want to, though?
Because it's Wizard.
Are we talking Attack of the Clones Anakin or Avengers of Anakin? Those are two very different Anakins.
They are, but it's Attack of the Clones. The actual game's quite good because I picked it up on the PS4 like a couple of years ago, so it is super fun. Bryn, is there anything you want to plug?
Not that I can think of. I am getting a hell of a lot more active on Twitter after all of this the craziness in this world. So
is it St. Swithin's Day?
So if you want,
it's not just in your friend's house that gets quoted.
So yeah, like I'm a lot more active on Twitter. So if people want to reach out to me there, they can get to me at CastBrynCast. That's with 2 underscores between my name of Bryn. So catch me there.
And guys, again, NerdToKnowMedia.com, Phoenix 92.5 FM. Go over, support the show, and we will catch you next week here on Nerd to Know Basis. Bye, guys.
Bye.